Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
Oh, Pelosi blasts GOP leadership's underreaction to Taylor Greene. Seems like a ironic choice for an underreaction.
Yeah.
Hey!
Hey! Welcome to our cold open.
Uh-huh.
This week's podcast is going to be brought to you by whatever I wrote down, which is interrogation footage and possible forward momentum.
This week's podcast is also brought to you by $1.3 billion and Washington shitheads.
I am your host, Madison.
I'm your other host, Jesse James. That's the state of Washington. Anyway, welcome to our conversational leftist mukbang, where I have beans and cheese in a tortilla, because I haven't eaten yet.
A bean and cheese tortilla is not a bad way to start your day at 5:30.
You're not supposed to tell them that part.
Oh, you're right. It's 7 a.m.
It's dark because it's so early.
Yeah. We're really on the ball.
Yeah.
That does sound good, though. I am going to start my day with a coffee, since it is morning time.
Is that a Mr.?
It is a Mr. It is
Mr. Brown.
Mr. Nice. Brown. Macadamia nut flavor, which I have not tried before. Some of my haul from Asian markets trips past.
I like a Mr. Brown. I think compared to a Boss Coffee, Mr. Brown tends to have a slightly aluminum flavor, but we'll see what you think.
Well, okay. I also have this to add some spice.
That's right.
So we're gonna... Yeah, get in there. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
The aftertaste is a little weird.
Vaguely metallic?
Yeah, I'd say a little bit.
Yeah. I think I was like laying prone in a ferry drinking one of those last time. Probably a very late night ferry.
That seems like an appropriate time to have one of these.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and...
Yep.
Oh my gosh, what did I even do to this? Did I glue it shut? Okay.
Yeah. That's the right way to get in there. You should get just a tiny taste of it from the tap, though, because the flavor is nice.
I did sample it a little while ago. Yep. That's pretty good.
It's surprisingly good. The macadamia nut cream. It was called something that was like...
It's Tolone macadamia nut cream imitation liqueur, and it has a bell on it. So honestly, what more could you want?
It's very good.
And
I imagine it would go well.
The macadamia has been upped by a factor of 2.
/ alcohol.
Yeah.
Just an early warning, I may be getting a knock on the door at some point. Hopefully not, because deliveries never happen at the part of the day that's convenient.
Yeah.
So at some point today, I might be receiving a very stupid item that I got refurbished because they're expensive as fuck to buy new, which is almost too dumb to talk about. I got a Taiko arcade drum to use with the programs that use it. But I've been wanting to get my rhythm down better, and later like difficulties and songs in there. Not only can I play the Totoro theme song and a bunch of other dumb stuff, but the timing requires being able to like properly bounce the mallets off of the head and stuff. So I'm excited to get medium good at that.
Medium good.
By way of simulation.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool. That'll be fun. That's I've always liked the idea of playing drums, and I've always wanted to try it, but no, I didn't try it in high school, and then since then I haven't been in a place where I could just play a drum. So
yeah, that's kind of the nice thing is I can headphone this and use it with the Switch. I got a little stand like to hold the Switch upright without it being plugged in somewhere. So I can ideally use this when I'm on trips because it's a quiet, like the drumming noise is primarily coming through like headphones if you have it on. So sort of portability is an idea for it as opposed to, setting up shop with, I have a bongo. I could make dumb noises, but I would rather not if I can help it.
Yeah. Well.
But so that might be showing up. We'll see.
Okay, well that's exciting.
Along with that, this might potentially be a very nerdy podcast episode, depending on how this goes. But I got a set of NFC cards, NFC chips being what's inside amiibos for like Nintendo products and stuff, and a bunch of other stuff. But there's people making essentially a very, very cheap bootleg of all of the functionality that you get from those statues without them being $15 a piece. In order to spend $15 on these cards, you have to buy like 40 of them. So it's a pretty good deal for if you're looking for that. One of the things I'm not doing this unless I end up with more money that is only usable through certain shipping services or something. But they make a full set of the Animal Crossing NFCs. And using those in the game, you can invite anybody to your island specifically, which kind of changes the whole game at a certain point. A lot of the late part of Animal Crossing is seeing if people will come to your island, and there's like, I don't know, like 100 and some or so creatures. So a lot of them you will never see unless you're like, I don't know if you could call it a power player for Animal Crossing, but something along those lines. So, some dork stuff.
An aficionado of...
I just got a set of cards that are Legend of Zelda based because that's what I've been playing lately, is the Legend of Zelda game that came out 4 years ago, something like that. I forget exactly when, but it's still very fun.
Yeah.
And those cards, there's a bunch of stuff that when I worked at Nintendo, they were like, we're not going to do this, which is to say unique equipment locked behind products you have to buy separately. So there's a bunch of those, actually, and I guess I'm paying like $15 to get access to them because businesses.
Well, there you go. Thanks, businesses.
Any other food business on your end?
I do actually have some quite exciting food business this week. I have a couple of fish snacks. So these are all from my Asian grocery store haul, I have, of course, some squid
Yeah.
jerky.
I had that around a lot
Hot.
when I had easier access and we weren't all stuck inside.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty jealous of your tiny squeeds.
Yeah, they're pretty good. And then I got these, which I had never seen before, which these are just literally fish snacks.
Oh, yeah.
So it's basically fish food for people. It's like a leathery little stick thing. I think I enjoy the squid a little bit more personally, but interesting.
Squids
Tastes kind of the same.
Squids have a good drying texture.
Mm-hmm.
Where did I put that bag that I have terrible things in? I'll be right back. I might have an additional eat. I mean, I have some other stuff, but I was thinking about eating something that I don't like, and maybe the podcast could help me get rid of it.
I have one final item to share with everyone.
Ooh.
This is my final item, mukbang item. I've been saving this for the pod.
So you've had that for like 2 weeks, or at least a week and a half, right?
Just well, I actually made a second trip like last week. So this is only maybe a weekish old then. But yeah. It is a steamed cheesecake.
The packaged bakery section is one of my favorite stops in most Asian groceries.
Yeah, and I actually got two of these. So I had one earlier this week, and I have to say that this texture is, I wish this light wasn't so insane. Stop it. Stop being so crazy. Is like so ridiculously spongy, and it's so like dense and nice that I'm a big fan of the steamed cheesecakes.
There's a product that I really like that's similar to that, but they put those. They have a lot of them, I think, in like Australia, parts of Europe, and Japan. But they're just like little chocolate, like soft-ish sprinkles.
Mm-hmm.
And if you heat up like a piece of bread with some butter or something and put it over the top, it almost turns into a chocolate. And they use those sprinkles on top of things like that, and they like just are sort of peppered across the top. And those textures together are very pleasing.
Yeah, this is like my textural S tier thing.
What's describe the mouthfeel of the steamed cake?
The steamed cake. It's just very spongy and like dense, like I said. I mean, not so dense that it's like really biting into anything, but it's just like, I don't even know. It's like foamy almost. Very squishy. But I like that flavor too. It's very mild.
There's always a little piece of me that kind of wishes I could eat that gardening foam, like the green foam that holds shape so you can like use it for planting.
Yeah.
Something about that seems like if they could make an edible thing with that texture, it would be good. Nothing about the green foam looks tasty, but if you were to move it into the world of, grains, I think
I'd be excited about that. There's a bunch of people who use that foam for like ASMR kind of stuff.
Yeah, I saw that existed and I avoided it because I like that foam, but I don't need to like hear somebody whisper over it.
Just like the crunchy sound.
I've used it for sculpting projects because it's really sculptable, but you have to like do a lot of stuff to treat it if you want to make it even like a temporary statue and not have it just disintegrate. Oh right, it's text o'clock. I forgot about our slightly later start time and our slightly altered schedule for this week. So my usual warnings to people don't quite have the same impact.
I see. Yeah, we are recording on a Thursday today instead
God's
of
Day.
God's Day.
Mm-hmm.
True. Feels even more godly given all the recent events.
Does it?
Yeah. Yeah, it do. It do.
What kind of events are those?
I've tried so hard not to learn about this.
Yep.
Is that like one of your topics? The
not
money?
Really. I honestly, I completely tried to like avoid it as well, and then I ended up in a conversation earlier today about it. Just like, I don't want to know. I don't care.
It was my best effort to not learn about something, and
So
I still learned a little bit.
Why don't you go ahead and explain what you learned now?
Okay, well, that squid really stuck in my throat. So, from my understanding, basically what happened is the guys, ladies, people over at Wall Street Bets or / Wall Street Bets came together and purchased a bunch of GameStop stock.
And like
correct?
AMC theaters, I think.
Yeah, AMC too. I think there was a third one. I can't remember.
A bunch of stock that's doing bad, essentially.
Yeah. And because of that, the value of all of his skyrocketed. A lot of people made some money in the last couple of days. Yep. People who normally don't make money off of the stock market, I feel is important to note. And then
important-ish, yeah.
Yeah. And now these like hedge fund managers not happy about it. Well, generally,
they wanted to maintain control over other people's labor a little more. You can't just make it worth more all of a sudden, even if it's not worth anything more to the people who do it.
Weird. What a concept. It's weird that we don't like it when certain people do that, but it's totally okay when certain other people are doing it. But yeah, that's about all of my knowledge about this whole thing.
It's a very modern Democrat approach to like not exactly civility, but the like respectability kind of thing, where respectability seems like it's mostly code for are you already a rich person? then you can do it. Except for the like 10 rich people that we have our focus on in this country as like, ooh, they shouldn't do that. There's another like 2 million of them who we very much approve of. All those rich people should be able to do whatever they want. And I have, I don't know, complicated feelings about some of it, but it's mostly like, I think that if people who have built up a huge amount of like, I don't know, like the easiest thing I can think of is something like Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart kind of got railroaded with her whole thing because she wasn't the kind of person that's supposed to be doing that. But, like, people are doing the exact same shit she did every day, including, like, in the, like, industries that people are, like, trying to save, whatever the hell that means. Like, the fucking people who make, like, calls for and against steel ahead of time because they know what's going to happen. And then it happens, and then they make money, or money gets transferred to other people, or whatever they want. But as soon as somebody who doesn't really have, like, a corporate interest does shit like that, it's evil. Because most of the people making money off this also aren't, like, people who need it. People who need money aren't able to go, like, fuck around with the stock market because they're doing other shit to stay alive.
Yeah.
The idea of even fucking with the stock market as my life works seems like a nightmare. Like, yeah, let me just stay up until 4 a.m. every night so that I have an extra hour to do that garbage. That sounds great.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll really pay off when I'm, like, barely living and not having any time to do anything else. But if you're, say, the kind of person who can afford a house cleaner, all of a sudden things perk up. Or if you can afford, a car, time really cuts down a little bit when you get into that range. Speaking of terrible things, not that we won't necessarily come back to this. So I have a dried meat of sorts.
Oh, that's important.
I fucking hate this. I bought 3 of these because if you look up here, they were $1. They're usually like $4. And what I saw in this when I bought it was, oh, it's turkey. That's probably fine. That's something I can eat while I'm at work, and it won't matter. What I missed is that it's turkey and almond and cranberry. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Oh, boy.
And when you jam almond, like, I don't even know what part of the almond they used, but the cranberry part, when you turn it into a jerky, it's not a craisin, it's not a sugared, dry cranberry. Let's get a nice textural look at that business. Watch this delicious snap. When you get that cranberry up in it, it just gets, like, drier and crumblier. So imagine the least moist turkey you can envision with, like, what if you could make chocolate chips into hard, bitter cranberry chunks that are sweetened, I guess, with, like, almond to make them just palatable enough to, like, not be awful. And let me give you a scent. It is the scent of a Slim Jim. So,
okay. All right.
One of the biggest problems is that there's, like, it's the texture of a hard cake as well.
Yeah. I think I actually have also had one of these before, and I think it was also a situation where it was in, like, the on sale section, and I got one, and they're not good.
But I have this, and I think one more I have to eat because I'm not throwing them away. They're good. They're viable food source.
It's protein, I guess. Yeah.
So I'll use that to kind of round out some of the other stuff that, you've seen everything I've eaten today on camera, so.
Yeah.
I also have these. I'll probably eat them at some point. They had large, like the medium size, I guess, but they're the peppermint ones of these that are, like, I want to say white chocolate, but it's basically just a peppermint delivery system.
Those are my favorite ones, I think. Those are pretty good.
They're very good. But those bags are only 99 cents right now because it's out of season.
Oh, no.
And I have something that I'm going to be definitely needing to add alcohol to. But, okay, so this drink...
What would that be?
This drink looks like it fell out of when I was 5. Look at this fucking rowdy ass watermelon sergeant
Oh my
man.
god.
This major melon Mountain Dew like watermelon catastrophe.
That's
I've never tried this. I'm excited to try it. It looks not good, but Mountain Dew is sort of well known for being a decent mixer, so I'll use it that way.
yeah. I'm sure a watermelon Mountain Dew flavor could work.
Could wash this out.
Something.
These
Yeah.
bars are not that big. It seems so big right now because every bite that I take of it is like maybe a tenth of it. Oh,
Like somewhat salty kind of wood chip,
like
mush wood chip.
sour and salty turkey wood chips is actually
Yeah.
a fantastic way to describe it.
Yeah, it kind of splits apart like a wet piece of wood too.
Yeah, like if I were to squeeze the sides of it, I feel like it would like shred upward or something. That's very disconcerting.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me give you a little malarkey moment, I'll call it. This is a short one in which this week Biden had some comments on George Floyd, which included the statement, I think he just said George Floyd is a knee on the neck of justice. Which, number one, sounds like a fucking Batman quote, like a bad one.
Boy.
Also, I think if you look at the sentence structure like you're in a fucking grade school, saying that it's a knee on the neck of justice is not really saying that there's a problem with the police. It's kind of directly avoiding that kind of situation.
Structurally, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
That sentence doesn't make sense. Well,
what he is essentially saying, and this isn't meant to be a cynical read, this is what he said, is that the incident, the one incident of the inciting incident of what over this year, like probably 100 or so.
Yeah.
Actually, I think the real number was like 60 of like major events of public abuse of black people by cops. It was like around 60 or something. I'm not going to look that up. You can look it up. That's what I saw probably a month ago. Anyway, that one event is the problem with justice, is what that statement says, which is a really, really shitty way to address it and doesn't really bode well. I had to have said this last week, but I'm very, very tired of the don't worry, this is the path to victory speeches I'm getting from people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the like evangelical Republican side of this conversation is like, we're already in hell. Let's get ready for war. Like, slightly different way of speaking about this. God,
Yeah.
I hope people like the sound of me eating this cranberry bar because there's a lot of it left.
That's so much. Why is there so much?
You should say something, and I'm gonna try to eat half of what's here at once.
Okay. I've been having a lot of fun watching the right wing response to everything that Biden does and treating it like he's doing some revolutionary socialism, communism work in America.
He's the Joker, remember?
Yeah. I've also what happened earlier this week? Trump's like former staff created the former office of the president or something, which functionally does nothing, obviously. It's just like fancy letterhead, I guess, so he can feel good about himself and give him some form of credibility. Um, he did also threaten to run like third party or something recently as a Trump party, which I think is the beginning of a very interesting conversation.
That's
So,
a better future, honestly.
yeah.
Like, I don't want to have a fascist party, and that's what that is, but that would actually be a place to work from for something. Not the third party. That's a side effect. The idea of establishing a third party, letting somebody else do all the grunt work of like making that a thing that can happen or not, and then allowing the left to push their like now like uh able to be planned out like method to try and get a third party that works.
Mm-hmm.
Because like somebody has to do it the first time, and the left has a really, really strong track record of getting fucked over hard when they do it.
Yeah.
And they're almost always the first people to try doing anything, even if it's been done in the past. But this country's not going to respond well. So I kind of want somebody else to be on that firing squad instead of all of the ideals that I think are important. I think that's going to be a tough one to watch them just sort of shut down entirely. All right.
There it is. Ugh. That looks painful. But yeah, I
It's
was
so dry.
Don't worry, just wash it down with some watermelon Mountain Dew. You'll be good.
Mm.
There's not enough liqueur in my coffee. But yeah, anyway, I thought that was interesting. The third party thing was honestly, I'm excited if that does happen. I would be anxious to see literally anything change on that front.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be good. um it's been a while since we talked about like Alex Jones or Knowledge Fight. I kind of just recently started listening kind of again,
Mm-hmm.
which has been pretty fun.
A trip.
A trip, yeah.
How'd you feel about that straight up Nazi shit earlier in the week?
You'll have to be more specific. Bad
Yeah.
memory.
Mm.
The only thing that's sticking in my head that I'm remembering vividly right now is the part where in one of his recent shows, I can't even remember what are they even talking about? He has a guest on, and the guest is like going on at length about how like Trump uh shouldn't just like leave and not say anything or like do anything or something to that effect, and Alex is just like fully not even there anymore.
Oh, okay. God, what a fucking chore that was. Uh, hmm. Yeah, so the person that you're talking about was a caller.
Mm.
So they weren't a guest, but they were somebody who went to be a part of the Capitol riot, essentially.
Oh, okay.
They were with the group. I don't know like how planned they were in it, or if they were there or not. They don't really explain that, but they say that they've been in Washington D.C. Since like a week before uh, all that stuff happened or whatever. So they're there, but they're just a person who is like a Alex Jones listener
Okay.
slash patriot, you know.
Uh-huh.
Um, and yeah, that caller is almost sounding like he's about to get emotional over like if Trump doesn't enact his plan now and just leaves, then what do I even do anymore? Like it's just like this weird,
Yeah.
desperate like how can my father leave like this?
It's like a plea for anything, and I think was specifically talking about how like the silence from Trump is deafening, like his absence is really being felt, and Alex is just not even there, like just dead air after he asks for any sort of response from Alex. It's so funny. I love that stuff.
Alex Jones makes a lot of decisions on when during an interview or a phone call is a good time to eat a big bite of a sandwich. Just a big sandwich bite is often like what you hear him talking through when he responds to like a longer chunk of stuff.
Yeah.
That's why here we do it on purpose and on camera so everybody knows. But
yeah,
when
because
you're
that's a highlight is listening to those parts.
When you're on the radio or his garbage network or any of that stuff, you got to be professional. Yeah, over the last half a month, Alex Jones has really gone through, and the stuff on his network before his show has really gone through some stuff in terms of messaging and in terms of caring. There's been a lot of Alex Jones just sort of like going back to his "I'm gonna end the show. Everybody disappointed me. The Patriots aren't patriotic enough. I'm gonna end it."
Like the end times talk.
Yeah.
The last transmission, I think, is what they call it.
That's like the fourth time he's done that. And he always does it in a way that he can refute later. He says, "I'm gonna record my last show to go up later." But he records them live because his show is live. So he pretends like he's making his last show on that day, but like recorded for, it's a really bizarre, like, it's maybe the biggest, most obvious lie of everything he does, except for the caveat that eventually it'll probably be right, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, someday, at some point.
We hope.
But this should be a good time to tell everyone that this is our last transmission, which has been previously recorded and will go up later.
If you want a good conspiracy theory for that, it's because our show and Alex Jones's show is generally about the exact same length. Which is a real
Just
bummer.
Less screaming and crying.
Yeah. We probably eat fewer big sandwiches and drink less alcohol on our show, honestly, which is devastating to think about.
That's not good for Alex.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've tasted this, and it is bad. I love watermelon stuff. I was thinking, like, worst case, it tastes like a watermelon candy, and it'll be like overbearing. It tastes like they did bad stuff to it. It doesn't taste at all like watermelon. It doesn't really taste like anything except, those nondescript candies that are just sort of like hard candies you can get at stores that cater to like not candy.
Yeah.
That's the flavor. It's that like, oh, this is sort of like a spun sugar flavor, I guess. It's not anything else.
All right. I mean, that's slightly disappointing for Mountain Dew.
I was hoping it would at least be like sour or something, and it's not. But the alcohol helps. The sake really makes it more palatable.
Yeah. Usually that's a good way to instantly make something better.
Back on our other topic, did you hear the when he had Steve Pieczenik, well known for being a ex-CIA, which sounds, it's why Alex Jones says it too, but it sounds important until you realize that he's just somebody who worked in like the CIA for a while, and CIA people are normal people with less morals, generally speaking. And Steve Pieczenik is mostly a YouTube conspiracy theorist, but because he has the credential of working in the CIA like 40 years ago for a while. He talks about basically being like a secret agent all the time. And he, after the Capitol riot happened, he was guesting on Alex Jones's show to reveal to the world that he had played Alex and his listeners, and he was the one who made the Capitol riot happen, and now America was going to have a real president for the first time in 100 years and all this stuff. He said that on Alex Jones's show, and Alex Jones's response was like, oh, and like completely ignored it. And the one true thing in what he was saying was that he had been stirring up shit on Alex Jones's show for years to like get people to start doing stuff like this. Like, that's true. Right. I'm sure that's true, but a lot of people were doing that. A lot of the like Oathkeeper and Proud Boy and all those people do that same thing. It's just this guy's an old shitty dude who lives with his wife and dogs and cats, who I now know all the names of, and just sort of, you know, calls into a surly Texas asshole show to tell people one of Steve Pachenik's things, and I suggest nobody listen to his stuff. He's just a piece of shit. He's not even very entertaining. One of his big wants in the United States is that they dethrone Trump and put Melania in as a dictator, because she is from a country that knows how to handle socialists, and she would get stuff done. And he seems like he just is like really into Melania for some reason.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say that just sounds like he's horny for Melania and just wants presidential boobies or something.
He also has one of those old white man American accents of like Melania, like he's one of those people. I just fucking hate his voice. Here comes my Alex Jones sandwich. This is just a plain roll from Azel's Chicken.
Ooh.
But it's got substance, and it tastes kind of sweet and buttery because they're like cake, basically.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
I would take a roll. I was listening to an episode of Knowledge Fight. I was speaking of like obnoxious voices. I was noticing that seems to be a common thread amongst all of these people. Yep. It's just like the most grating, horrible. Because you have like Ben Shapiro, who is like the paragon of obnoxious voice, and
Ben Shapiro's alter ego, classically Abby.
Yeah. My waifu, classically Abby.
All right.
And shoot, who was I going to say that? Oh, Nick Fuentes. Yeah, I don't know. Fuentes. Yeah. Oh,
that guy's a real piece of shit.
Yeah, I have not listened to much of his stuff at all, but he was on Alex Jones's show. And it sounded like Ben Shapiro at first, so they have kind of the same cadence, which is like horrible, bad. If anyone ever tells you sound like Ben Shapiro, you should probably quit and rethink everything. So, yeah, he sounded like a slightly different Shapiro.
It's almost like living in a very like uneven society and growing up as a short, horrible dork oftentimes can lead to you being just sort of fucked up like that.
Have a really shrill, aggressive demeanor in your voice, I guess. But
I feel like the things they're fighting to keep are the exact reason why they're the way they are, which sucks.
Unfortunate.
You got ghosts?
I guess. I think I'm hearing the furnace, but...
Oh, okay. Nick Fuentes is one of those people who has like more following than he should, and seems like he might be sort of the Alex Jones of the future, which is a bummer. I think Ben Shapiro, I think already peaked. Like he sort of did his thing, and he's still around, but
now it's just real good for memes.
Yeah. Now his weird, like evangelical shit seems like it exists more and more. His preference for dry, dusty pussy is definitely on the main stage at this point.
He tweeted something the other day that was so insane that when someone sent it to me, it like flew over my head at first. Because I'm so used to this insanity, but he was like, "Joke's on you guys for saying that my kids aren't mine and that they're someone else's, because I had them genetically tested and they're actually mine."
What?
And at first I didn't even like process the fact, why are you genetically testing your own children?
Yeah.
Were you concerned?
Their head shape looked a little off, and I wanted to make sure that they would have the biggest brains possible, so I got them genetically tested. That's some weird shit to tweet.
Yeah, and to think that you tweeting the fact that you did that is not like more confirming of your own suspicions. Yeah, it's that was a funny one.
That would have been less incriminating if he had said, "They're probably mine." Like, I don't know why you would just...
It would have been funnier if he was like, "Yeah, they're probably mine."
It's a bummer that didn't get the kind of attention that Elizabeth Warren's "I'm gonna prove to everybody how Native American I am" shit got.
Oh, God.
It's real cringy when people do shit like that, but at least it doesn't usually infer that you have no idea who your kid's parents might be.
Or that you're concerned.
Yeah.
Hilarious. So funny. I mean, whoever his wife is, like, he picked a real one, because I don't know how you could put up with this and keep your sanity.
I mean, this is going to sound like just the answer I give for anything, but, you know, dick too good.
Oh. Nope. Nope. I can confidently say no, because we're talking about Ben Shapiro. It's not possible.
I want everybody out there to think about that face Ben Shapiro makes when he's like smirking, which is every like video where every front of a video where he's not like very, very concerned looking. And then think about that face 6 inches away from your face while you're both naked.
Well, actually. Oh, not something I ever wanted to imagine.
I heard that the dryness is normal and it'll go away.
You didn't come? I think that's factually incorrect.
There's some kind of facts don't care about your feelings in there, but I can't figure out exactly how that pertains to coming.
Yeah. And we are 50 minutes into the podcast, and we've already reached the Ben Shapiro sex part.
Yeah, that's a sign of the times.
Mm-hmm.
How old is Ben Shapiro? Any idea? Because I feel like he could be 18 or he could be like 50.
Here, why don't you guess and I'll look it up.
Okay. I am going to try to guess the month, the day, and the year.
Oh wow. And his sign.
I want to see how close I can get. I think.
Oh my god. You're not gonna get this.
Okay. I think
Good
Ben
luck.
Shapiro was born. Uh. Hmm. I think he was born September 15th, 1990.
So he's 37.
So he was born in 83?
84.
84?
January 15th, 1984. So you got the 15th right, actually.
All right. He's a middle monther. That's something, I guess. I was not close. That dude, he doesn't show his age, but he does look like he's not entirely normal. I guess he's got a little bit of that when certain types of people get old, they kind of turn into leprechauns. He's got a little bit of that going on.
Yeah, he kind of does. That makes him a Capricorn.
I have no idea what a Capricorn does.
Me neither. It's not mine, so I don't know it.
Yeah, basically.
His astrological symbol is the goat. I think it would be really funny to do like a 4-hour episode doing the birth charts or whatever of every right-wing political commentator. Alex Jones, wait, I have to know what Alex Jones is.
I'm actually super interested in that because I want to say he constantly lies about his age because he keeps telling people that he's like 40 basically, but he looks older than 40.
So okay, so here's some cool facts back to back. Alex Jones is 46.
Okay.
Joe Rogan is 53.
Okay. All right.
Alex Jones looks way older.
Yeah.
Alex was born in February 11th, 1974.
Okay.
So let's see, February 11th. I don't know what that is either.
I have a bunch of friends who are right in that range and family members and stuff that are close to that, and I have no idea what that is.
Oh, he's an Aquarius. Everything makes sense.
You need to tell me more about an Aquarius if that's your response. Do Aquarius have necks that are way too thick? Is that?
Yes, that's actually the defining characteristic. Let me find a good summary. The one of the main things I know about Aquarius people is that they're very contrarian.
Okay. That matches up with the general feeling of that sign for me.
Yeah. That makes sense to me. Let's see. You are one of the being an Aquarius born on February 11th, you are one of the most popular people there are out there and often stimulate others to achieve their best. You are a great motivator. Correct, but not in the way that we want.
Not legally. Legally, I motivate no one. That's important.
Yeah, that's all I really got.
Okay,
Negative traits. Emotionally shallow at times with a stubborn temper. They are prone to sudden mood changes and often find it difficult to concentrate on routine tasks.
Does it also say they do a lot of Adderall? Because that's pretty much right on the money if that stuff's negative.
That's so funny. They prefer to keep themselves entertained and are always chasing for a bigger purpose, although some never attain it because they aren't persistent enough. they might appear cold and detached, especially in those situations in which they feel as if their ideals are more important than people.
Huh.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
that checks out. Just one more reason why I strongly subscribe to any sort of zodiac nonsense before any sort of biblical nonsense.
Yeah, well, the difference is zodiac nonsense tends to be a whole bunch of information just sort of collected over time, and it ends up being kind of accurate because people like live in cycles and have commonalities.
Yeah.
Where religion has been rewritten by old shitty white men for 2,000 years over and over. So it's literally just old shitty white men's ideas of what the world should be. So, uh, you know, you want to take religion like Christianity at face value, and we should all be hanging out in a commune and giving a shit about each other and literally owning nothing. Like, that is a big part of the Bible, is being like a socialist at worst. And that doesn't seem to be what the Christians think anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that part. That part sounds
Yeah.
fine to me. I'm good with that.
I agree with Natalie, friend of the podcast / very occasional podcaster. Jesus seems cool. The person. I would love to hang out with a probably stinky. Let's not be, unrealistic, but an old Arabic wizard who got killed by the state for being too groovy seems like an okay person to hang out with.
Seems pretty cool.
He didn't have a harem. I mean, he was almost certainly bisexual and almost certainly had a very close relationship with a lot of people that were around him, but like, that's fine. There's no huge sex scandal in the Bible, really. They cut out the part with Jesus's thruples. So
it's too bad, because I would have paid a lot more attention in church if they had thruples going on.
Yeah, definitely. If it read like something human beings would do instead of how the Bible reads.
Yeah, I would have paid much more attention instead of trying to determine who would die if the light fixtures fell from the ceiling.
That sounds like the right kind of... Is this a Sunday school activity? Because that seems about right.
Yeah.
I just miss the big, scary wooden Jesus that were in Catholic churches, because those are funny. They're in compelling. The most pain they can possibly be in. And it's amazing that wood sculptors could make somebody look so white who's from the Middle East.
It's a talent.
I really just think everybody should read the Bible and remember that every single person in it is Jewish, and stop being such an asshole about everything. Anyway, I have a lot of honestly not very complicated opinions on religion, so we don't need to go down that road. What I do want to talk about is the Portland mayor macing a guy for yelling at him.
Oh, I've not heard about this.
So the Portland mayor was eating. He didn't have a mask on. A lot of people are making a big deal about that, but he was eating in a restaurant with an ex-mayor. And generally, when you're eating, you don't have a mask on. Like, that's part of the reason why you shouldn't be going to restaurants, honestly. But that's sort of par for the course. The issue is he was just sort of like thumbing his nose at the stay-at-home order while also making it harder for everybody to do everything, and also being a huge piece of shit. And, he had just re-gassed everybody after like inauguration stuff. And some guy saw him eating and went and yelled at him, and he fucking maced him. He wasn't attacked. He wasn't like physically like provoked to do anything. He just maced the guy, which is sort of a perfect example of why we need to maybe be more critical of these people from the left. But in trying to search out some more bullshit about that incident, I got sidetracked by a whole part of Washington State that I don't usually consider because it's garbage, which is everything over the Rocky Mountains. Wait, is that the? I don't believe in mountains being important. I'm just kidding. I don't have a I don't have a lot of like, I don't know, situational awareness maybe when it comes
Geographical knowledge is not important on this podcast. It's the Himalayas.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's either the Rockies or I want to say the Cascades, but I'm pretty sure that's not right either. I don't know.
That's the thing, is I think it might be the Cascades that I'm thinking of. Because I think the Rockies are further to the east, and I get them mixed up. Anyway, so I believe you're right. I think the Cascades are the dividing line in Washington State before you get to the Rockies. Anyway, I don't care. The point is, once you get over the mountains from here, everything kind of sucks. Yeah. And like Spokane is a place you can go there and you can do things. It has a fair amount of people in it, and a lot of people compared to everywhere else in the East. The thing that I didn't realize is that, let's see, what is this woman's name? Rogers is, I didn't even write down her first name. I don't really feel like dealing with her like on a, I don't know, who is this person level, because I had literally never heard of her until like a couple days ago. She is the Senate seat, I think, from or House seat. She's probably a House seat from the county to the east in Washington. So she oversees, or she represents, rather. She's the representative from the Spokane and Spokane Valley area. She has been, she's been the head of a bunch of projects for Trump. And she's been like a pivotal person doing a lot of shit. And I've literally, until this week, never seen her face or heard her name on anything. And it really bums me out that somebody from Washington State has been like a pivotal person in like trying to work against environmental protections and against all of this shit that's like, it almost, I feel like somehow being from Washington is a smokescreen. Like, the only reason why I even looked her up is because I was watching some footage of some of the current shit that people are dealing with, like post-Trump, and they had an image of her and her name up, and it had R. Washington under her name, and I was like, that ain't something I'm aware of. Let me... Yeah. So I was... Okay, well, her name is Kathy McMorris Rogers, and she's the GOP leader of the Energy and Commerce Committee. Her response to Biden's climate plan was, at a time when millions are struggling due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the last thing Americans need is big government destroying jobs while costing the economy billions of dollars, which is like, fuck off. And people seem to be taking it seriously. It's also worth noting that Biden's climate executive orders essentially amount to nothing. The short list of his stuff is it changes climate to be a national security issue. That's fine. It should be. but it should have been there a long time ago because the entire world recognized that already.
Right.
It establishes a White House Office of Domestic Climate Policy, which sounds like shorthand for we'll make a committee, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It freezes new oil and natural gas leases on public lands and offshore waters to, quote, the extent possible, which is like, that means nothing. The extent possible doesn't mean anything to anybody. Like, and then it doubles offshore wind production by 2030. Yay!
Oh boy, yay.
Which all of those things together, just like that's what this fucker from Eastern Washington is concerned about, is all of those big changes, like making a committee to talk about it, which appears to be the only change, honestly. Yeah. The freezing purchase of public lands is cool and all, but a lot of times those types of things are very specific to public lands and don't include things like reservations. So I don't give a shit what they're saying about that. I don't think that's necessarily what they're planning on doing anyway. It's just sort of a thing to say. But that's sort of been on the long list of incredibly milquetoast Biden stuff. Like him, they made a huge deal like Monday, I want to say this week, about him, quote, closing federal for-profit prisons. Except they didn't talk about the part where he's closing less than 10% of those prisons in reality. And it doesn't include any of the places that are run by ICE or run by the Department of Homeland Security. So who cares? Like, it's nice that we're not continuing some contracts with some prisons that are for profit, but like, that doesn't mean anything except like we can tell people we did this and they'll be happier for it. It's really frustrating. All the like policies that have come up so far have been completely flat. Like I haven't seen a single thing that Biden has put through other than retracting the Muslim ban. That one's really good. And
did he undo the transgender military ban yet?
I think so. I think that one happened, but I haven't seen the final verdict on it, so I couldn't say for sure. But I think that happened. Like there are some basic human rights things that have happened, and that's good, but they've happened in a way that like gets us back to like 6 years ago in all reality, but like, you know, pre-Trump, basically.
Right. Well, and there's a bunch of stuff that Trump did, like, as he was leaving office. Like, a bunch of random things, like, what was... One of them was allowing certain agencies to discriminate against people, like, LGBT groups for, like, adoption, right. And there was one other agency, I can't remember what it was, but just, like, random fuck yous, basically, to people as he was on his way out.
And, like, the big health thing that Biden has done so far is say that they're expanding health, and the date for that is after the next presidential election. So it's 2025. Who gives a shit? The likelihood that Biden will be president in 5 years is like 0%. I'll be realistic, like 15%, I guess. The idea of saying we're gonna do something in 5 years, don't you worry, it's COVID right now, is nothing. Same with the, he went from we're sending everybody $2,000, which is already nothing, to we're sending everybody the additional $1,400 to make it $2,000, which is, again, nothing. And now, yesterday, the new report is, I'm opening it up to debates with the GOP about what we should send people.
Oh my
Who cares?
God.
Holy shit. So, yeah. A whole lot of nothing is basically what Biden is doing, which is cool. Really happy about having a majority for the Democrats and it basically amounting to, I don't know, and the weird spins I've seen on the vaccine rollout has just consistently been like Good Morning America and places that are like catering to your parents and grandparents are doing a lot of like, it could take a couple months to get everybody vaccinated. And then the places that are like putting out what actually is happening are like a fifth of us will be vaccinated sometime this summer, probably. And then the real story seems to be unless we do something drastic, it's going to take longer to vaccinate than it's going to take for the same shit to happen to everybody anyway. So, like, we need to really get on it.
Yeah.
And that's just sort of being, like, pushed aside for the most part, which is frustrating. That mixed with, you know, the knee on the neck of justice that Biden's mentioning are real cool when the mayor is macing people for talking to him.
Oh, wow. I'm so pleased with this communist state that we've been put under. It's
Dirty
great.
communists ruining everything. The reaction I got saying that I believe in communism to close family members really indicates how dastardly communism is to people.
Yeah.
Totally absent of any self-awareness of like how much horrible shit capitalism has done to everybody, more than communism could ever hope to do to people. But that's okay because it's capitalist right now. So I'm just gonna say that's where I want to be.
That's actually probably a good time to give a shout out to the Gravel Institute,
Yeah,
who's putting out good videos that are like you sent me one earlier this week that was titled like why capitalism doesn't what was it, like help people the way that people think it does, essentially. I can't
most
remember
of
the exact title.
most of those like anti PragerU type places because there's a few that have tried. I'm like pretty lukewarm on. I'm lukewarm on some of the Gravel Institute stuff too because they have some people who are they had a thing about some part of the economy. It wasn't. Oh, they also have one about the Civil War that I think was the same dude. Um,
Oh, I think I
yeah,
did see that one.
it's so like centrist and lukewarm that like I don't give a shit. But the videos that I sent you, there were two in total. Were both done by Richard Wolff, who I tend to think is like sort of a dick, but he's good at explaining important economic ideas, and he's done a lot of like sort of outreach through even places like I think he was on Chapo Trap House. He was on a couple other like podcasts. Like he's been doing some like more informational stuff in a way that reaches people who are a little younger and kind of show that he's not completely out of touch with shit, which is nice.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that is cool.
yeah,
I'm really um glad, and it is exciting to see people making videos like that that are of the PragerU kind of type that are just easy to consume.
yeah,
And yeah, I think I'd agree with you that some of them are probably more on the center side, but especially about like the one having to do with capitalism that was like why capitalism doesn't take care of poor people like it says it does, or something to
right.
that effect. um, I think those are going to be really useful just because, I mean, like you were just saying, talking to your family, uh, even if you're not specifically talking about communism, just treating capitalism as if it shouldn't be the default
Right.
is is treated as like insanity. And I mean, I haven't only been paying attention to that general stuff for maybe 2 years. So,
Right. Yeah, and
yeah.
I think there's a really common place where older people have been told so much. I've even had this problem of like um our institutions are largely based off of socialist ideals for like public good.
Mhm.
And that's true for rich people. And as soon as you aren't wealthy, it's based off of not at all socialism. Like you might as well be completely on your own for a lot of that stuff. And the reason people give is the reason why the GOP is popular. And I think that a lot of people who believe in those systems and don't have honestly, I think it's usually don't have the energy to be critical of them
Mhm.
because they have other shit they're doing, or they feel like they deserve to not be so like checked into that stuff, which seems to be a lot of people. Um, they are supporting like just Republican talking points. Like economic policy from the Democrats is not like moving us forward. It's generally moving us backwards. It's a lot of that shit where uh, the what the fuck is that? I'm trying really hard not to remember it, so it doesn't help. That fucking Robin Hood and the stock trading Reddit and all that shit. What's that fucking
Yeah.
hashtag that that stuff is under? Um,
Oh,
free something
I
something.
don't even remember.
Let's not remember. Anyway, the point is, a lot of people on the left or on the left of our administration,
Mm.
um, they're looking at that as like finally justice for the little people as well, and that's trash. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing amazing coming out of any of that stuff, and we kind of already said that, but those that is a probably more esoteric to older people look at what you're kind of supporting with everything. The idea that, yeah, a few people might have GameStop stock, and GameStop has been abusing its employees for the entire pandemic. It's probably gotten a lot of people killed inadvertently. It's forced people to trade and sell in person because they want to spend the least amount of money possible. Uh, like they've been a legitimately extremely evil company, and AMC has been the same. AMC has been pushing for people to be in a room all year,
Mm.
and like they they've like done all kinds of shit to make things worse, but they're less effective at it than GameStop kind of has been. Uh, and those companies have low stock prices right now because they're failing, because they should be. Because even if you wanted stock to be important, which I think it's legitimately something we need to get rid of entirely, like the entire idea of a stock market is trash. Like we don't need that to exist in the world. It just
Yeah.
does because it's like a weird band-aid for everything else. That makes rich people rich. Like cool. But people should be looking at that, and it should be drawing attention to the fact that all that shit is dumb. It shouldn't be drawing attention to the fact that now the little people win.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
What's going on?
I got a package apparently.
You might have some food in that package if you want to grab it.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. I will go. I will go get it then.
Okay.
Ooh, boy.
Let's see. Any requests out there? Let's see. Jeff Bumsman is requesting a video game theme. Oh, bold. Let's see. Huh? Mario 1 2? Yeah. Uh, hmm. I can't just play My Heart Will Go On Again, even though that's my favorite. Tetris might be too complicated. I know. I'll get some more coffee.
I'm like 90% sure I just doxed myself, but it's fine.
Sorry, I was playing a Mario theme song from our listener requests, but I decided to get more coffee.
Oh, okay. Well, I walked into the room and I'm pretty sure I like doxed myself by showing everyone the box, but it's okay. Not important. This is a real live unboxing.
I'll see if I need to edit anything and if that makes sense.
I think we should be fine. I was probably far away.
I'll make sure. I don't want to risk it too much.
All right.
That
getting in there.
I may have set that up with the amount of care that I would set up a package for work. So, you know.
Oh, I should probably be cutting away from my face.
I mean, probably.
Maybe. All right, we're getting very close. Okay. Woo! Unboxing.
I'm gonna take this moment to shout out the Chicago Teachers Union for moving towards strike and refusing to do in-person teaching.
Ooh, yes, that is cool. Masks, thank you.
Oh yeah, that was those masks don't fit my giant head, so you know, I bought them for charity.
I will take them. Can always use more masks. Oh boy.
So one of those is the project that you already know about.
Okay, I see that.
Yeah.
I see. Ooh.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, yeah. I am excited.
I don't know what the fuck to do with those, so you're gonna have to help me figure that out.
Okay. Oh my god, is this Squidward socks?
Well, it's to keep some important pins on, but
ooh, I love them. Pesto, yes.
Yeah, some important Garfield-related materials.
That's actually funny because my former roommate's cat's name was Pesto. So I looked at that, and I thought, how does he know about pesto?
I don't know about pesto. I don't know shit about pesto.
Okay, is this the correct one to open?
That's the regular package. The other one's the project package. I think the other one's not taped, so that must be the correct one.
Okay. Excellent. Yes, you did do some heavy-duty taping on these.
Yeah, not everything in there is exciting, but there is food in there, which is always exciting.
Did you send the Swedish fish? Oh boy.
Yep.
It's time for our 6 month later follow-up on. Oh my goodness, there's a lot in here.
It's a lot of little individual things.
Oh my god.
Uh-huh.
Is this a gum?
No.
Oh no, that's the thing that.
Yeah. That's this thing. I literally have these things sitting here. The other bits of it. That's the fucking. We're probably gonna have to plan something for a lot of this stuff that's not on the fly. But
probably. Ooh, a tea.
I also didn't expect this to show up mid podcast.
I know. I was not expecting that either. Oh, nice. Wow, this is like quite the backstock of apparatus here. Ooh, turtles.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
This is a very good drawing.
Yeah, it got a little gross in the middle. To be fair, I was uh, looking at the days I had to send this before you are out of town for a while, and I realized that I can't send it any day this week except the day I picked. So I was maybe up at like 6 in the morning going like, I don't know, this seems like a good idea to put this in here.
I like this.
You have to open that. That's a container.
It's a good container. Oh, wow. This is like Christmas.
Yeah, kind of. That's how it was set up, as Christmas-esque.
Christmas-esque. Melon gummy candy. I don't know how exciting of content this is for everyone, but I'm having fun.
People like unboxings, right? I could talk
Right.
about stupid shit while you do it, but I think
Ooh. Oh,
yeah,
yes, I remember this.
now you can get into the goop.
Goop. That is exciting. Oh man. Ooh, the boba milk tea stuff too.
The bobaless tea.
The bobaless tea.
Yeah.
Oh man. Lots of good stuff in there. Trying to keep it all. Oh, and then equipment to increase the quality of the podcast. Something for everyone to look forward to.
We'll see.
Yay! Well, thank you for sending all that.
Yeah, you've probably gone through more of the exciting bits. There are various things like there's a gift for Jesus's birthday in there.
Oh,
Um,
there's
I
a. This says New Year's on it. Am I supposed to?
oh yeah, you can open that one.
Okay.
The so the I have a story, but I don't know how interesting it is on the Jesus's birthday one. We'll see.
Okay. We can hold on that, on those, since there's stories to go. Well, thank you. I am very excited to receive all of this.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's a lot of really high quality items. And
should I?
Oh, you could. That's one that you could do. Let's see. I'm trying to remember. I think the order is darkest to lightest, and you have to eat each one completely. So it's purple, pink, or purple, orangey, pinkish, and then white. And basically, you have to eat each one so that it kind of coats your mouth. And when you get to the white one, it's weird.
Okay. So purple, pink, and then white.
No, purple, orangey. There are two colors that just look
very.
very.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. Some of those pink ones aren't pink. Exactly.
What the heck? Hold on.
Those look like they're the same color.
These look like the same. All the pink ones look like pink to me.
That seems like it wouldn't be true, but maybe it is.
Ow.
All right. Well, I guess pick two pink ones that look the least like each other, and eat them in the middle between the purple and the white.
Okay. I can do that. Okay, so purple first, you said?
Purple first.
Really? What are these again? These are like ice cream flavors?
No, those ones are tropical Swedish fish. I've never seen them again. These are from the original box, so
okay.
Enjoy. The flavors don't seem terrible to start with.
I have no idea what flavor this is supposed to be.
Yeah, I don't either, honestly.
It's like tropical, but
It literally, they all taste like different like car scents you could get in Hawaii. Like that's like the tropical until the end.
okay.
Ah,
Now I will pick the two pinks that look the least amount like each other.
yep.
Here, I will shine my bright light on them so I can. These are definitely all the same color. I swear to God.
Huh. Maybe they faded.
Okay, I'll pick the two that look the least like each other, but I'm
Yeah. I don't think it's gonna matter too much.
okay. Here we go. First pink one.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I like this one.
Yeah. I'm not super opposed to the flavors. I thought I liked them more when I first started eating them, but I always liked the white ones the most, so I saved one until after I tried the others, and that's how this happened.
Okay.
Because I was like, oh, that one's definitely going to be like pina colada, and I think it is, and I think it's a problem.
Okay, so the pink one that I just had tastes kind of like a maybe papaya. I don't know.
Okay, and I imagine this one will taste similar, because
this one tastes exactly the same.
Yeah, you probably just have a bunch of pink ones, which is weird. And then once that one's gone, then you eat the white one, and it should work. I can't imagine not having one of the flavors would ruin it.
Okay. Here's the white one.
So it'll probably taste normal for a second, and then you'll get like the combined flavors, and it'll kind of get weird in there. That's my hope. Oh, you found it! Yeah, so that's the exact face that I make when I eat them. What the fuck is wrong with it? It tastes like a human or something. It tastes weird in a really specific way that is like not candy.
I don't know how to describe that. Human is a good way, but
right? Like it's a taste that you recognize, but it's not a taste that makes any fucking sense.
No. That's very weird.
Yeah.
Will it happen again if I eat another white one?
I don't know. I tried to like use what I had to like preserve the ability to do it. And that was just sort of like a thing that happened. My food astronauting occasionally ends up in a dark place, and that was one of the things that happened.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
The weird thing is, when I haven't had any of them for like a day and I just ate a white one, that doesn't happen.
Really?
So it like requires the other colors first to like set your mouth up for destruction.
Okay, well I have enough to try and recreate this at a later time, so I can try that. That is odd. I'm excited for this too.
What is that? The little
taste changing.
Yeah. I'm excited for it and worried about it. It'll be interesting. I think it's only supposed to last for like a half hour, so we'll just have to think about like what kind of food we want to ruin for ourselves.
Yeah. That'll be interesting. What would be good?
I mean, my usual go-to is like something terrible, like a durian or something, but I kind of am curious about trying it with stuff that's like harsh. Like I would kind of like to try some wasabi with it.
Oh yeah, that would be doable.
And I'd kind of like to try some like salty crackers with it and see if it changes the flavor to that, because that's such a basic flavor.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, those things are confusing.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I've been wanting to do this the whole time I've seen him though. No.
Yeah.
No.
They are the world's least effective spanking paddles.
But they look like they'd be. No.
They have a satisfying wind resistance.
They do. I feel like I could frisbee this or something. Yeah, these are. Did you end up trying this with like fresh fruit and?
I haven't had
chili
fresh
powder?
fruit yet because of COVID.
Yes.
But I want to make like a buttered fruit saute and then melt it into it.
Ooh, yeah.
But I need to get like pears and like probably tangerines or something to make something palatable first.
Yeah.
But once I make a terrible thing with it.
Ooh, God.
Ooh, God.
Yeah, we'll have to come up with some good concoctions for those as well.
Yeah.
Yay.
Let me just get a little bit of
Yeah.
juice.
Which reminds me, I have a new sake to try.
Yes. Please try and review that because I'm curious about it. What is the brand?
It is one that I picked up at Total Wine, and it's like a pretty substantial sake, but it was on the cheaper end. I want to say it was like in the $10 to $14 range, but this is like heavy. It feels nice, but it's called, I think the brand is Joy or G. I don't know.
It's not important.
G Joy Sake. Okay. Cool. It is a it's an American sake. It's brewed in Oregon. Also, I have no idea if it's sake or sake. I should probably learn that. Vegan friendly. So we're gonna go ahead and mix this with the little bit of remainder of green tea that I have and hope that that's fine.
I mean, this is from Hyogo, so this cheap McDonald's sake is
McDonald's.
highly authentico.
It's a really, really good thing that McDonald's does not sell any alcohol. I'll just say that for my own.
I mean, it really depends on who you are and how you're using it, because road sodas are definitely a thing that many a hip-hop artist has partaken in, and I may have in the past secretly enjoyed one of those.
Well, I'm just saying for my own benefits, for my own well-being, it's a good thing they don't. I probably should not have mixed this with a...
Well, it's too late now. I bet it's good.
Oh,
Unless it's a really strong tasting sake, which I wouldn't imagine.
It's no, it's a pretty... I am having a hard time describing the flavor because I'm not sure what part of the green tea is playing in this anymore.
I am a big fan of sake because it reminds me of the flavor of condensation runoff from hot rice. And I legitimately love that. Like I would catch the steam from rice and drip it into a cup just so I could have like a small shot of that. And I've always liked it. Yeah, it's something about the flavor of rice when you make sake out of it maintains that, and I've always really enjoyed it. It's light though. It's like trying to describe what bread tastes like, where it's like, I don't know, it's fucking bread.
I don't know, it's rice.
Yeah.
It's like the smell of when you make rice in a rice cooker and it's just been sitting in there until like after dinner or something, and then you open it and it's like that smell, but taste.
So speaking of things that are Japanese but from America, I would love it if you have the ability to that you watch a trailer.
Oh, okay.
That trailer is I think it's called Kong versus Godzilla.
God damn it.
And I'm not going to taint your opinion of this because I have some strong opinions on it.
Oh, I'm sure that you do. Okay.
But I want you to see what is going on here. Pay attention to the imagery because they really have sort of a here's the storyline to our whole movie kind of thing going on.
Oh, do they? All right.
Yeah,
Is
and
it Warner Bros?
I believe so. It must be because it's coming to HBO like as a in theaters and on HBO thing, which is of course how I'll watch it, and we'll see from there.
Okay. I have it. I have it here.
Okay. Yep. You like how it opens with an explosion?
Yeah. It's a good sign. You have to take it. Ew, gorilla fingers. Oh no. He's on a boat.
You gorilla fingers is not a phrase I've ever heard, but I enjoy it.
That guy looks like his name is Chris, probably.
Yeah, probably. He looks like a weird off-brand version of the guy from the Insidious movies.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
I can't remember his name now.
I think that in some way. So this little girl is... Oh, what the heck? Oh no.
Uh-huh. Oh.
Okay, well, the Godzilla is here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now tell me if you think it's as funny. King Kong jumping off of a boat that explodes is one of the funniest images I've ever seen.
I like that.
Listen to this horrible music.
Does all of this movie happen on this boat?
No, I think I have a theory as to why it's like this.
Yeah. Yeah. And now we're in like Tokyo, I guess. What? There's something provoking that we're not seeing here. Oh, hey, it's our girl, Millie Bobby Brown.
Yep, she was in the last movie too that I didn't like.
Oh, nice, good. Did he just use a lizard as a bat? Okay, yeah, he did.
Don't worry, it gets dumber by the end.
Why are there multiple big animals?
Again, I think I know why. I think.
Did Godzilla just like shoot a laser out of its mouth?
Fuck yeah, it does.
Like a fire laser? Okay.
Yeah.
Secret to amazing hair? No, shut up.
Okay, so
oh, that was a lot.
Yeah. So I watched that trailer a few times. The first time I watched it, I was just mostly upset. How was your experience watching it?
I would say apathetic.
Yes, exactly. So let me set it up with the end of the last movie, and this is going to sound better than it is Godzilla going like this isn't a phrase just for the hell of it. Godzilla goes nuclear. So he like turns red and gets like electrical looking and angry. And then instead of shooting fire out of his mouth or a laser, like in that preview, he growls and just like a weird circle flies out of him in all directions that just looks like a force field kind of. And he's fighting what is essentially a very, very big Hydra that regenerates that in the past has been from space, and I don't know about in that one. And his magical circle melts the Hydra, and then he eats the Hydra head at the end. And people flying away in a helicopter like it's the end of Jurassic Park are looking out going, wow, that's something. And then it's over. That's like the end of the movie. And Also, I guess, so he kills the big Hydra, and then all the other monsters in that series are standing around Godzilla in a circle and bow to him. So there's that as the storyline.
Wow.
Uh,
That's fun.
King Kong, I don't. They're making King Kong look really like humanish in this one, but
Yeah.
if you look at the sequence of what happens in that trailer and what they're looking at, they're talking about a bunch of King Kongs and a bunch of dinosaurs having a war in the past, and uh, that part where Godzilla's shooting a laser out of its mouth and King Kong is a stuntman jumping at it with like a weird reflective laser axe. That appears to be a weapon that the King Kong tribe used in the past fighting dinosaurs, I guess. So all of that, though,
Okay.
all of that looks dumb as hell. There is a piece where people are running into a train tunnel in which the head that flies over the top looks to be maybe Mechagodzilla. And I think that's why everything in that trailer looks like it could happen in like 30 minutes.
Mhm.
Is because I think they are showing only the very beginning of the movie. And my guess is that they're fighting Mechagodzilla, which is in the past either from space or made by people on Earth. That's just a big robot Godzilla that's mean to people. So that's what I think that movie is going to be. And that is also coming to HBO.
Yay.
So that will be how I watch it. And it looks really bad.
It looks sufficiently dumb.
Especially because I've been setting up a time to watch Shin Godzilla, the Japanese movie from 2015, I want to say, with my roommate and his boyfriend, because that movie is amazing. And all 4 of the Godzilla-related movies that have come out in the last decade from a U.S. studio have been absolute dog shit. So this looks like it's following in that. Godzilla, I don't know. It's real hit and miss, but the American ones seem to be most of the misses.
Yeah.
I
think I have seen one, and I think it was 2015. Seems like the right year, but I don't remember the name of it. It was something.
Is that the one with Bryan Cranston in the first half?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's the first one of the US stuff.
Okay.
After Godzilla 99 or whatever, the one that was Matthew Broderick, that was like from, I mean, it's a 21-year-old movie. Like, it's very, very bad. We watched that this year on one of our movie nights for COVID stuff. It's still horrible. But that was the soundtrack I mentioned having alongside the That Darn Cat soundtrack with Cat Scratch. So we don't need to relitigate any of that.
That sounds like a good pairing, though.
Yeah. Anyway, I want everybody to watch that trailer. And try not to laugh during it. It's hard because it's bad.
Enjoy the slow-mo King Kong jumping. That's the highlight for sure.
King Kong jumping looks crazy both times they show it, but my favorite is still him jumping off the boat like an action hero while a laser cuts through the middle of the boat, and his face is like, ah! It's like very funny to me.
Like, they could have made it like an actual gorilla jumping and like looking cool, but they are like, no, this is a big person. We have to make it like a person jumping.
Yeah.
Like, it's already a giant monkey. Just make it jump higher.
Monkeys are cool. Like, there's no reason you have to make it look like a dude that's sort of gorilla-like, which is what they're doing.
Like, it's so stupid.
Like, the look on his face when he's jumping at Godzilla in slow motion is the look on somebody's face who's wearing a bunch of mocap balls to, like, jump at Godzilla. Like, it's really bad. It also, there was a continuation of Shin Godzilla's, like, universe that I think is coming to Netflix. That's like a cartoon, but like one of their Netflix like 3D cartoon things they've been doing. And that version of the world of Godzilla is really interesting because in that universe, Godzilla is basically like the avatar of the planet Earth, as opposed to like a big lizard. So it isn't a lizard that got big. It's a like weird amalgamation of like basically pollutants and stuff that have sort of created a sped up evolutionary path for like this weird monster. And it was made the storyline and stuff like that was partially done by the guy who did Neon Genesis Evangelion, which is like an apocalyptic cartoon from the late 90s, I want to say.
Yeah.
And it follows the same kind of path. And in the movie, they have their conflict, and it sort of starts and ends like a Godzilla movie would, but it's way more interesting. In the story that they've written for it, Godzilla, and potential spoilers for the series, but like it's a kaiju thing, like it doesn't really matter. The Godzilla continuation is that it because it's just a bunch of like sort of trash mashed together that's evolving as fast as possible. It keeps turning into what it needs to turn into to deal with its surroundings. And one of the original ideas for what it would turn into is a very, very tall human looking creature with like just sort of it's very Ava, if you've seen that show, but it's just sort of a really tall, smooth looking human that I think shoots lasers out of it, probably. But weirder than that, Godzilla, after like getting attacked over and over, stops turning into a big monster and starts turning into a bunch of smaller things that cover more space. And then eventually it turns into its own parallel universe that creates its own like entire universe. It's very weird. But it's sort of a neat idea of like how do we make Godzilla sci-fi again instead of making it just sort of a big monster, which I enjoy.
Yeah.
And in that cartoon, they had a shot of Jet Jaguar, and most people shouldn't know what Jet Jaguar is. It is a terrible robot that shows up in Godzilla movies from like 1,000 years ago. And it has a theme song that's very funny. People should look it up. And it's just a dumb robot. Like, I know a lot of like Japanese robot shows and stuff. There are dumb robots. This is a dumb robot. This is like a what if we could make a budget brand version of a Transformer looking robot that's just a dude, and I believe it break dances at one point for no reason.
Good. Yeah.
It does lots of dumb shit, and it isn't important. It isn't like powerful, really. Like, it isn't anything. It's just a dumb robot. And that robot got a feature in the preview for that show. So I'm already like excited to watch it. Because if they're bringing Jet Jaguar in, then like
you know it's gonna be good.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah. That sounds like a solid, very promising start.
Yeah. I don't know when that comes out, though. It'll probably be in the summer, because that seems like big movie monster stuff, especially for like Netflix, who's trying to emulate theaters.
Yeah.
Anyway, I could talk about Godzilla for a long time, but I think that's going to get uh, reduced returns quickly. um, uh, so another thing that happened in the last, completely shifting gears,
Mhm.
another thing that happened in the last week is the Tacoma, Washington cop running over
Oh
people.
shoot, yeah. Oh.
I think it's worth mentioning that because it's another case of the cop saying what happened on a video that people shot, and you can watch what happened, and it not matching up at all with any of the reality of it, and the news just saying what the cop said. So that's real fun. They the issue was there were a bunch of people doing like a sideshow, which is like doing donuts and stuff in a part of the street, which is technically like what, disturbing the peace and reckless driving, probably. Like, it is illegal, but
Yeah.
like, kinda who gives a shit? Like, if people are being stupid, like, sure, a police presence is useful for like security reasons, but we shouldn't need to have police doing that shit in the first place. Um, they're trying to characterize it as street racing, but at the same time, if nobody's racing, then like maybe we should not say that people doing a sideshow is street racing yet.
Mhm.
Even though street racing is a thing that happens in the Pacific Northwest pretty regularly, like that's a feature of Portland and Seattle and the areas in between. But
Mhm.
um, the the account the officer gave is that he showed up and people attacked him. Like, he was in his car, a bunch of people attacked him, so he used his car to uh, like accelerate through the crowd to get out to save himself, basically. The video shows a bunch of people yelling at him and like banging on his car, which in the aftermath did not have damage, so it seems like maybe that isn't a huge problem. It's also not his car, like, who
Yeah.
cares? Uh, and
I know
he,
where you can get more.
yeah, exactly. He backed up away from the crowd and then sped through them, which means he could have left. Like,
Mhm.
he could have at least retreated and asked for people to come with appropriate force to not, if he was really afraid for his life, he could have dealt with it in a way that was appropriate. Uh, but he didn't. He backed up and then decided to speed through them. And he like ran over two people. Like,
Mhm.
he hit like eight and he ran over two. And I think they're okay. But it's also that thing of like, who cares? Like, everybody's acting like this is fine. And this isn't really any different than the response to protesters or any of that shit. Like, police kind of just doing whatever they want, and people being too lazy, really, to do anything about it. Um, I really feel like the biggest problem right now is that, especially after 2020, everyone is too tired to fact check, and they weren't going to do it for the stuff that really mattered, and they're not going to do it now. So we're just kind of getting this weird like um I don't know, like weird tiredness out of a lot of people with the switching of like our government and stuff at this point. That
Yeah.
I hope gets better as the summer kicks in and people get more energy back, but like for right now it's just, it fucking sucks for everybody.
Mhm. Well, I'm glad that I said this like a lot over the summer, but I'm really glad finally that people are recording stuff and things are like mass available for you to
Yeah.
watch. However, it gets cut down and shortened, whatever, that's always a problem. But it's in this case, like if you watch the video, it's really obvious that there were a lot of other things that the guy could have done
Hmm.
rather than plow through a crowd of people. Like that seems very obviously to be the last thing that you should do when there
Yeah.
is a crowd of people in front of you. So yeah, I don't. I I'm glad that there is at least that. So when the news outlets are like, he was scared for his life, and he thought they were gonna break through the windows. You can see the video of like the car getting pounded on, but not really to the level of like windows breaking. It didn't look that violent. And he backed up, like you said. So there were clearly lots of other things that he could have done.
Yeah, he wasn't trapped. Like
No.
it's the if you have a back door and a car and security and all this stuff, and somebody breaks into your house, you don't have to shoot them. It's that kind of problem of like, you just wanted to shoot somebody, you just wanted to run people over, you have a way out. Like, we need to stop acting like this is an appropriate way to respond to stuff like that.
Yeah, and I mean, worst case scenario, just turn all your shit off and like sit in the car for a few minutes, wait for people to go away. They will.
Yeah.
Like, so stupid.
Yeah. Anyway, that mixed with I was actually picking up the project that I sent over, and was over in Capitol Hill where I used to live for a bit, and took some pictures around there because it's completely peaceful, normal, people in dog parks hanging out like it's nothing. There's no issue.
You made a trek to the anarchist.
Yeah. The anarchist jurisdiction. I took my life into my hands and walked around in the anarchist jurisdiction. There is an entire block with a center lane that's cordoned off so that people don't ruin the Black Lives Matter painting. That is the extent of anarchy that's in Capitol Hill right now.
Wow.
But while I was there, I noticed that even though everything is completely average, it looks like it did every time I've lived there. They have built a like 10-foot cement wall around the base of the police station for like, you know, the sieges that they have to deal with or whatever. Yeah. It's real stupid. Like the amount of theater to try and like act like a victim in this shit is crazy. And Tacoma has actual issues. Like they have a lot of like homelessness and drug problems that need to be addressed by people who understand how to address that kind of stuff. And if that police officer is an example of what's happening for addressing that kind of stuff, they can fuck right off. Like that's not good. People were talking about like, oh, he did a really good job. He let people know he was going to go talk to those people before he did it, which is like, why is that a good job? Like, that's like yelling, I'm going to kill you before you shoot. Cool. That's nice, I guess. Anyway. Yeah. More local shit that I love.
We love local.
He stood near a cop car, so he had to do it to him. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. That's the rationale we'll take.
Anyway, so we have a QAnon goon who's now being put into the lead position on the House Education Committee. So, yay! Man.
Yep, that makes sense.
And that was earlier. Nancy Pelosi's response was, the GOP isn't being critical enough of this, which is a fun response from that jackass.
Yeah. Yeah, I have watched a couple of people who go to like Trump rallies and go out and talk to people and interview people who are at like Q rallies and stuff and genuinely believe this shit. And
yeah,
the thing that a lot of those people say is that like the whole QAnon conspiracy has been the most um, damaging thing to that generation. Like all of that just weird, I don't know, conspiracy that some people are so lost inside of and can't find a way out of. It's kind of like cult-like.
I mean, yeah, aside from it being a very effective way to indoctrinate people, like if you get a whole generation of people being born before our fossil fuels are being regulated in this country enough to avoid lead poisoning, and then you also place them in a like post civil rights resistance movement to like get everybody indoctrinated into evangelical like Christianity, you're gonna fuck everybody up. And that's definitely what we're seeing now, is just a fuck ton of people who feel like they worked harder than anybody ever has in the history of the world because they're fucking mind poisoned, and then somebody comes along and tells them, well, the only reason why it's not paying off the way it should is because, I mean, pedophiles, right?
Yeah, so, the deep state.
Yeah.
That's it's so unfortunate that like so much information is disseminated through like phones and internet and all the shit, and you have like the most internet illiterate people just totally latched onto this, and it's sad, but that's some of those people are in charge now, I guess. That's pretty cool.
That's a mutual friend of ours was mentioning that one of their relatives sent a bunch of other relatives a message saying, we just got information sent to our cell phone that let us know. Yeah, exactly. A bad start. That told us that it was a bunch of like QAnon bullshit. But it was the gist of it was they're gonna send the military to all our houses to like kill the believers, basically, or put us under like martial law. And it's that thing of like, first off, you didn't get that information from anybody except maybe a phone listing, in which case
it was like a text from the Trump campaign.
Yeah, basically. In that case, I don't know how you categorize that as like secret information. Also, I just want to say you brought up something that I had totally forgotten about. So you know how I subscribed to that Trump mailing list so I could get all that garbage? They transferred that mailing list into the RNC. So I now get just RNC and GOP emails, and they're worse. So like anybody, they're not as often, but they are legitimately like let me just fire up my email right here and see what they said.
I'm very curious to hear.
Well, apparently Pierce Brosnan sent me an email about his cool earbuds, so I'll ignore that.
Very cool. I'm just gonna pour a little more of this before I deal with these emails.
All right. So you can see here their emails are exactly the same as Trump's, but without the Trump picture.
Yeah.
The Republican Party needs you now more than ever, Jesse. They still have all of the same shit. It still lists my donor status as missing.
Missing? Oh no.
The total donations that I've given is missing. They still have fucking end of the month deadlines with little things that are like, hey, give us $20 and we'll pay ourselves $60. It's like, cool, great. We're putting together a list of every American patriot who donates today to help us crush our end of the month goal. Can we add your name? So they have not gotten better at writing. The RNCHQ is where it's coming from now. I got one recently that's like it's like stepping up the whole our country's under attack shit.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They sent me an all black email that just says say no to amnesty. It's no surprise that Joe Biden is prioritizing illegal immigrants over American citizens. Here's the thing that the RNC without Trump has sent me is this paragraph. He already signed an executive order to halt the construction of our beautiful border wall and suspended the enforcement of many critical deportation orders. So
sick.
I guess the RNC is now just like, we got to build that wall.
I guess now. Yeah, it's weird. I'm curious to see how this is going to play out because so many Republican shitheads have kind of like really tried to distance themselves from Trump, but I think that they're going to quickly realize that that kind of like harebrained racism is a really strong pull for a lot of people, and they might have to like go a little more mask off because they're clearly starting to.
Well, and I honestly
continuing
think that this fucking garbage with Green getting the House Education Committee, I think that's to keep a third party from splitting off. I don't think they care about this person being there, period. But the fact that they have a QAnon weirdo in the fucking Senate or whatever, of course they need to do this. Like, if they don't give them something that sounds important, they're not going to stay there. And, like, that's really frustrating. Also, just I don't know, there is a part of this that is sexist in its own way, but, like, I give women more credit. Like, a lot of the people that I talk to who are complete shitheads are women, and I still give them more credit because, like, typically speaking, women are a little more self-preserving when it comes to like dealing with unnecessary crisis. And dudes tend to be very, let's say, Call of Duty about it. And I tend to respect one version of dumb over the other, which is the one that tries to like take care of itself first. And this shit, like the amount of people who are really showing that it doesn't matter the gender, people are people, and a lot of people are assholes. That's a real bummer. Not that it's not good that there's representation, I guess.
We need equal representation of all shitheads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does feel very much like Biden making a very racially diverse cabinet of complete assholes for a lot of things, where it feels like there's a lot of smokescreen type behavior in politics right now. Just like, oh, look, this asshole's black, though.
June is going to be so fun this year. So good. So fun.
I have to move in June. June's going to be garbage.
Just slap a rainbow on it and you'll feel better.
What else is happening in June?
Pride Month.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's June. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So
that's going to be
insufferable this year.
There's going to be a lot of why aren't we celebrating our white Americans? Because I feel like there's this weird resistance that is very telling towards every like even vaguely social justice based movement that's like, but what about the white dudes? Which is crazy because that has nothing to do with Pride Month, yet it still comes up. It's still like, what about guys who like to, you know, be boring? What about the boring ones? Celebrate them. Completely ignoring the part where like you don't need a celebration. You have it 24/7, 365. It seems like enough.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Was it last year that people well, I'm sure this happens every year, but
there's been straight pride, like, as long as there's been pride. It's not worth talking about.
I think I remembered it being a big thing last year, but I can't remember if that was last year or the year before. It's always bad.
Yeah,
It never stops.
you gotta raise up the taupe and gunmetal flag so everybody knows just how straight you are.
No. I'm losing my will to be angry about things.
Nah, you gotta hold on to that. That burning
I
hatred
mean,
is
that's
gonna
all
make
I have.
yeah. That's why you have to drink sometimes to turn that hatred into jokes.
Yet sometimes,
Uh-huh. And
occasionally.
sometimes it turns into yelling. Sometimes it turns into yelling at 2 a.m. while no one's in the house at no one. Because there's no one to yell at, and that way you know you're not hurting anybody's feelings.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens, but it's important to hold on to that.
Gotta hold on to what makes you happy.
Happy. Yep.
I can't even pretend. It's been a fun couple of weeks.
It's been a fun.
Forever has been fun.
It's been like 5 years. That's been pretty fun.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think there is some solace to take in the fact that we're not used to it. Like, we're used to it being shitty, but we're still pissed off about it, and I think that's a good sign, more so than it's a bad sign. So that'll be my silver lining. Though silver linings, the idea is starting to get bad in my head because these fuckers with their, like, Biden's fixing the minimum wage, and
please stop. Oh my god. Yeah.
$15 an hour by 2025 is not fixing the minimum wage, you asshole.
Didn't somebody I just touched my eye a few seconds ago and it's really hurting now.
Ooh.
That's fine.
Well, you did touch that box.
Well, that's fun. But
oh no, I mean because of the stuff I put in there, not because of the
COVID
existential threat to humanity.
Okay.
That should I did everything I could. I literally sprayed it down with like pure alcohol. So that box should be as safe as possible.
Well, it's gone through the post office, so I'm screwed anyway. It doesn't matter.
They spray their shit down too, so.
Yeah. Well, I forgot what I was gonna say. It doesn't matter.
You were gonna say. It had to do with being angry. I know that.
I don't remember. So I'll change the subject. I might possibly have an apartment in Boise now.
Boise?
Fancy. Wow.
That's pretty cool. Did you end up going the roommate route so you can like not be completely boned on money?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have a friend who lives and works down there, and she was looking to get out of her current situation, and so am I. So
nice. Yeah, you had mentioned that plan. That sounded like a decent one, so I'm glad that worked out.
Yeah, we found a really cute little, I've been calling it my like lesbian cottagecore dream house because it's just very small and like open, natural light, like hardwood floors. It's very small though, so it is going to be very compact.
Does it have separate rooms for anybody to do shit?
Yeah.
Then it's not that small. Because I lived in a studio with another person for a year, and
that would be small.
It didn't even have like the separation that you could create was a partial like built-in table to separate where the kitchen was from the rest of the apartment, which was, of course, a square room.
Yeah.
Incidentally, that is one of the handful of places I am looking at moving into, is that same building, because there's very few places you can live in this city.
Yeah. Yeah. We were having a similar problem, which is why I couldn't believe that we found the place that we did. And yeah, so there are two separate bedrooms. Um, and then the rest of it is just kind of open.
I mean, that
But
sounds like living high on the hog, honestly.
I'm
And
not complaining.
you'll be in a town that has stuff.
Yeah, that was the other part of it. Like it's for the location, it's actually a pretty good price, which is funny because when I was talking to my parents, I was like, "Look at this that I found. It's such a good deal." They were both like, "Oh my God, that's insane." And I'm like, "This is what I'm dealing with. Like it's not cheap anywhere. Like as much as I have wanted and dreamed and aspire to live in a big city for the last couple of years, I don't think it's feasible for me to do that by myself. And
No.
just
it's not feasible for me to do it by myself, and I'm seeing what I can do about that.
yeah, I just like I don't think that's a possibility right now, especially with COVID, and I don't want to be totally alone in a new place right now. So we're doing the small big city of Boise, Idaho, and that'll just have to do for now.
I want to say that's around where one of the people who used to work at the print shop that I work at lived when they were doing realistic Halloween decorations of like dismembered body parts. So I know there's at least some weird shit in Boise, and that's very exciting.
I like that. Yeah, actually, Boise does have a really, I would say a pretty solid like Halloween haunted house scene that, yeah, I very much enjoyed in high school. So I really missed out on that this last year. Like I was real sad about not having that experience.
That's my list of bug out towns. Not exactly, but places that I will go if Seattle is completely untenable. Boise ended up on that list largely because I found some weird shit around there, and I know that it doesn't really have an art scene. Like it has a little bit that I found, but like barely. And that's usually a good sign for art as opposed to a bad sign. Which, unfortunately, if I move out of this area, I have to kind of start over on a lot of that stuff. So,
yeah. Well, I think Boise is pretty like. I mean, it used to be incredibly boring, but it's pretty like up and coming now. It's getting on the bigger side. So, I mean, I think I'd rather be there than Spokane at this point.
I would rather be a lot of places than Spokane, honestly. if for no other reason than the fact that they have a slightly elevated case of a lot of environmental ailments, which I don't want to deal with. Yeah. I don't need to put myself in a spot where it's like, yeah, we have like an odd number of miscarriages here. It's like, I'm good.
Weird.
Yeah.
Cute, but
not ideal.
I find Spokane to be environmental oddities aside, I find Spokane to be a very quaint day trip. I do like the geography of it and like the what would you call it? Like landmarks, like the weird wire, not pyramid cone thing they have going on, and the waterfall. It's very nice. It's very pretty to be there for like a day, but I don't.
They have a lot of sort of strange and notable things the same way that a lot of like Midwestern towns do, where it's like, oh, you can go to this, what, I think it's like Memphis, Tennessee has a bunch of like, look at this landmark, and then it's like a hotel. that's like, yeah, that's not interesting, but it is cool to see that they have a thing like that here. Oh,
Yeah.
they built a pyramid here that's, a mall or whatever. But they did make a pyramid shaped thing. That's neat. And then,
They do. Yeah.
you're there for like a week and you're like, yay.
It's pretty at night. That's about all I can say for that.
Yep.
And it has the Asian markets that I've been going to. So those are solid, I will say.
Yeah. I imagine there will be more things in Boise. Also, I think you can walk around Boise a little bit more in terms of like just getting shit. So
yeah, we found and the spot that we found is pretty close to kind of like the main parkway path that kind of runs through all of downtown. So that'll be cool. And
well,
then
and how far across is Boise? Because I don't think it's very I don't think it covers a lot of space.
No. Boise is like the downtown of Boise is pretty small.
Yeah. That's always been the thing I like about Seattle is that it's kind of the same with San Francisco, but you can walk across all of Seattle in like an amount of time that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I can walk from like I don't know, if I'm at a spot where there's a bridge like Fremont or something, I can walk from Fremont to South Seattle, like the Georgetown area in like 2 hours tops. Like it's a totally walkable amount of space in cities like that. And I imagine Boise, given the direction everything's going in this country, will be more like Seattle in a few years anyway. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But that sounds like a fun place to at least be for a while.
Yes.
I don't know if I'd want to.
We're looking at a 6-month lease right now. So
I don't think I'd want to live and die in Boise, but I would love to stay in Boise as opposed to a lot of other Idaho places.
I can't think of any Idaho places that are terrifying and riddled with racism.
Nope.
We don't have any of those. It's just lakes and cabins and trees.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that Idaho focuses so much on its natural beauty because
it's like don't talk to anyone from here.
When I think realistically, if you looked at Colorado, Montana, Washington, Oregon, and California, even Utah, you would probably be like, oh yeah, it's the ugliest of all of these. So it's I guess it's better than Pennsylvania. So I don't know. I don't need to rag on states. States all have their problems, but
I mean, Boise is geography-wise, I prefer Coeur d'Alene to Boise. Boise is in the middle of a desert, essentially.
Yeah.
Which sucks, but it's funny because they call it the city of trees because they've tried really hard to make it like, no, guys, it's fine. It's not like the desert or anything. There's not snakes here, but there are snakes, and it is a desert. And I think the only real outdoor activity thing is like skiing in the winter, which I don't do. So
I mean, skiing's fine. I've always been more of a all seasons inner tuber.
Okay, there is that, I guess. I'm forgetting about like the river. So if you're into tubing, there's some serious tube potential.
I know tubing has become shorthand for masturbating on camera, but tubing is originally floating around.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could do both. There's lots of time.
I mean, inner tubing does put you in a position where it would not be hard. So, or it could get hard, I guess, as part of the issue. Don't worry about it. I'm going to check and see if Boise has scorpions.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
We do have some very lovely lizards that are blue belly lizards. They're very cute. When I did used to live in Boise, my dad used to work out somewhere kind of out in the desert.
Hmm.
And a couple of different times he would catch lizards and bring them home, and we had a couple for a while.
Yeah.
And we had one there. I formed a very special relationship with one, and then never got this to happen with another one. But there was one lizard that I had that I could like stroke his little blue belly, and he would fall asleep on his back and just be like in little lizard bliss, and it was so cute. But that was just one lizard. But they're very cool. That was like an activity growing up, is like catching lizards and trying to catch them without them detaching their tails.
Yeah, the tails popping off is upsetting, but I do enjoy lizards in general.
In hindsight, probably a little bit cruel to the lizards, but yeah.
Uh, so apparently scorpions do range up as far as the Snake River. So they exist. They're just not common.
Yeah. I've never seen one
Yeah.
in real life, so I'm going to go ahead and forget about that.
I mean, I had to do the same kind of thing when our ceiling didn't exist because while there aren't a lot of dangerous spiders in this part of the world, there are hobo spiders and I think brown recluses in Washington. Uh,
Are there
and
black widows in Washington?
a few, but they're very rare. But the only place where those things really live is near port cities in houses like how our ceiling was open and we're subterranean. So
Hmm.
it was a very like, okay, well, if they exist anywhere, they probably exist here. So it's an exciting place to be.
Full of possibilities. Well,
Yeah. But
there are for sure black widows in Boise, so you have that to look forward to.
yeah. Black widows, I mean, those types of spiders are rare because they don't really hang out where people hang out that much, unless you're in like the Midwest where they're more common. But even then, it's like a barn spider more than it is a house spider. So no scorpions. Zero scorpions.
No scorpions. I've only seen 3 black widows, and only one was inside of a house.
Yeah. Uh, I've seen some spiders. I don't think I've seen them in Washington, except I did see what appeared to be a brown recluse. But it was when I was moving out of a place that was like very open to the elements and very like problematic in some ways when it came to creatures like finding their way in. And it was living inside of a box that had what are now very rare Nintendo cards in it. And I picked up the box. A spider was in it and got angry, and I threw it in the trash. So that spider's house and those cards and all of that related material went into a dumpster because I think I like didn't tie the bag closed or something because it's like I don't know, I can't just kill it, but that doesn't look like a spider I can deal with. So
No.
and I wasn't gonna like fight it for some cards.
I find there are not very many things that I would fight a spider for, of any
Yeah.
variety, really. If the spider's on it, it's either like that's your space now, or I if I have a cup, if a cup is available, I will
Yeah.
cup the spider, and then that is your space, and you're
Uh,
welcome to that.
I have a very tall cup, a very long, skinny cup, and a piece of paper with a spider drawn on it. And
A
it's
spider cup.
thick paper, and I've used it a lot.
Yeah.
So um, I will continue to live that life because I'm not interested in killing spiders or being next to spiders.
I think spider cupping is a very PNW activity.
Probably. It
I
seems
don't know. Maybe not.
it seems like a those damn liberals kind of activity.
Yeah. Can see that.
But I'm not a fan of killing anything, spider or not. So that's just sort of what's going to happen.
Depends on how surprised I am.
Yeah, the last
I
spider
cannot control what I do in a fight or flight scenario.
Look, I backed up the car and the spider was in front of it, and I just, I panicked.
I just panicked and I hit the gas, and I'm sorry I hit those 8 people.
Only 2
but I was
legs were under
afraid
the
for
car.
my life.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like a great excuse, so I think you should use that. Yeah. I killed a spider maybe 5 or 6 years ago because it woke me up by biting me on the back of the neck. And that's
nice.
I wasn't awake when I killed it, but I woke up like this and I like moved my hand and I had killed it. It didn't like splat or anything. It wasn't like a mess. It was fairly small, but it was so strange looking that I put what I assumed was a dead spider under a cup so I could figure out what it was on the internet. And it was dead, but it was such a weird shaped spider because I didn't like mangle it. It was like mostly the regular shape. And its jaws were about as big as the rest of its head. And so I was like, this seems like probably not poisonous, but like weird. And like the bite was like, it didn't hurt or anything, but it was like noticeable. So I found out that it was a type of spider that lives in, it was like decaying environments, and it specifically goes after tough small insects. So it's designed to eat like wood ticks and stuff, or ticks, wood mites with its giant teeth that can like get through them. And I learned all about that because I found one. It has a head that instead of having eyes in the front is long and has eyes all the way around it. So it's like a telescope or like a periscope. And that's why I looked it up, because I was like, I don't know for sure this is even a spider. It's just weird. It looks like a fucking Lovecraft monster, though. It's very unsettling.
Well, I've definitely not seen that spider before.
Yeah. But that was the same apartment that I got centipedes in, and found out that you can catch a centipede to put that outside if you have a glass bottle that had like Coke or something in it. They like are attracted to the scent and they'll just go right in it, and you can put something over the top and put them outside. I would just put the entire bottle outside and figure they'll figure it out. And it worked, but I had 2 centipedes, I think, show up in my room. And because I slept on a futon that was on the floor, I would wake up and they'd be like a foot away from me in a space where they could get to me, and it was very upsetting.
Nope.
Also, the space I had under my door was like maybe that tall. And entire snails and slugs would come into my room at night.
What?
And my room wasn't even the closest to the door. They had to go past my roommate's room to get under my door. And
there's like something about your specific presence or your aura that calls to the slugs and the
there was an aura, and it was that if you opened up my closet, there were wooden boards on the bottom covering a hole.
Oh. Yeah, and that'll do
that hole was the only access point to the sump pump that kept the underside of the house dry. So I literally had like a spider closet that I had some like sealed containers in, but I couldn't use that for like storage because you put a fucking jacket in there and you can't ever wear it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was interesting. We also had like mice or something die in our ventilation. So the first like 3 months probably of us living there, it just smelled like death in parts of the house sometimes, and that was fucked up.
That's pretty fucked up.
But that is what low rent in a Seattle type area gets you. So I'm hoping for better for Boise.
A spider closet and death in the vents.
Yeah, so if you can avoid a
Nice.
spider closet, you're actually doing pretty well.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if that'll be avoidable. We'll see. The closet looks suspicious from what I've seen so far, but
Good.
the mice situation should be not horrible. It should be fine.
Well, you're not in a port area, right? Like they don't have water in Boise, so
they have there's river, so
sure. Yeah, rivers aren't really as mousy as like ports, though.
Yeah, I don't think it would be a problem.
It's not going to be like hanging out in Ballard and just you haven't really gone to the city around here that much, but if you go hang out in Ballard at night.
I've had the Ballard experience. Yeah.
Once it gets past 11 o'clock, there's just mice on the street, and they're just hanging out. And I kind of love it, like walking around and like looking over, and there's just like mice walking around too. It's very weird.
Yeah, I do remember that. I think I went to Ballard like one time and was there later-ish because we were like at bars and stuff. Yeah, I had that experience. That is pleasant though, because I like mice. If I have to choose between like insects and spiders and mice, I'm going to choose the mice.
Yeah.
They might carry more diseases, but they're cuter.
They can have diseases and they can have volatile shits, but like it's still better. Like I understand a mouse. A mouse is something I can look at and go like, I get it. I get what you're doing. But like a spider or a centipede is like you're just kind of like wriggling around and have a sharp end, and I don't like any of it.
Sharp end. Yeah, there's no sharp end to a mouse. Not really.
They can bite you,
unless you make them mad. Right. But like if I see a mouse, I'm not gonna make it. I'm probably gonna like feed it if I see a mouse.
I mean, yeah.
Maybe not in the house, but
mice typically understand that they shouldn't be shitty to big stuff, and I think insects don't usually have that same like presence of that's big, I'm gonna leave. They just kind of have a like we'll see what happens kind of mindset.
I'll do what I must.
Yeah. So speaking of I'll do what I must, one of my my topics that I didn't touch on that I want to do before we are done is Rudy Giuliani getting sued for $1.3 billion.
Ooh.
Did you hear about that shit?
Nope, but I'm happy about it. What exactly?
So he's essentially getting sued for defamation by that company that makes the voting machines, because he's been going around basically saying that they're like an adversary to the country and trying to sabotage the election. And he's been doing it for quite a while, and he's gotten a lot of like weird support from QAnon weirdos. And that company sued him for $1.3 billion like last weekend. And
Trump told all of his people not to pay him.
Uh-huh.
So he's been paid. He's been working for free.
Yeah.
For Trump, and now is being sued for that much money.
It's a lot of fucking money. Like, I know that's the kind of thing that people just settle out of court for, but when it's that high, I think that settlement's gonna not be nothing. And to borrow a joke from, I think, Late Night or something, he still has to pay all that alimony to his cousin. So it's gonna be rough. How do cousin fuckers make that much money is my question.
America. Patriotism. Yay.
Yeah, a lot of patriots out there.
I mean that's nice though. I guess some cosmic justice question mark. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see how it
Maybe
goes. I would love it if he was just uncomfortable for the rest of his life. That would be nice.
I would take that.
Yeah.
That'd be fine. I thought the the Borat thing was pretty funny for me. Like I enjoyed that. So if we could
Yeah.
do that, but like on a much higher level, because that seemed to really get him
Oh,
or
this
bother him.
this underage girl is in the same room as me. Better take my pants off. That's normal. Yeah.
Oh dear God!
Uh,
Yay!
I just have a note on my computer that says the market will sort it out. I think I was like making a T-shirt or something. Anyway,
That's a
uh,
good.
just noticing things I've done around here.
That's a good. That's a good shirt. I think I would wear that shirt. I went the other day to a antique store with my friend
Uh-huh.
that I haven't seen in a while. And it was in Spokane, which surprisingly is like, well, not surprisingly. Spokane is safer than Coeur d'Alene right now.
Yeah,
So I
that's not
figured
surprising. Washington
no,
might be
not at all.
crap, but it's definitely not like northern Idaho or any of that shit. So,
Right. So I was like, well, I haven't seen you in a long time. I would love to get together if we can do so safely. And Spokane seems like the place that we might do that in public. So we went to this antique store and I got a shirt that says, shoot, what does it say? God made me beautiful, but the slots made me rich or something
fuck, you put a
horrible.
picture of that up, right?
Yeah.
God, that sucks. I'm very into that shirt. It looks
It's
like the kind of shirt like a 90-year-old woman would have on in like Las Vegas.
it's from like a hotel in Vegas or something or a
Yeah.
casino. So I mostly got it because I like the font that's on it. But but I think that is hysterical anyway. So
That shirt has a lot of the same energy as that rodeo shirt I got for the wedding had, where it's just like, what the fuck are you wearing?
yeah. I love everything about that shirt. I
Yeah.
love the fact that people would see me wearing that and make assumptions about me or my character. That is so exciting.
Uh, I have two types of shirts, maybe three. The shirts I wear on this that are my normal shirts. Uh, the shirts that I have that I don't wear on anything that I'll have pictures taken of me, which are my uh, special shirts. And then I have my dress up clothes, which are just a nightmare. And you bought that shirt and it's somewhere in the middle of my dress up clothes and my like invisible shirts. And
yeah,
I'm pretty into it. It's a good look.
I
I
love that.
weirdly, one of the things I want to do most when it's applicable to life is go back to like used clothing places and stuff. It's probably going to be a while, but I do really enjoy sifting through the kind of trash that people, I guess, really thought would be either good gifts or good life choices and making it
Hmm.
my own life choices and gifts.
Yeah, I think just one of my favorite activities of all time forever will just be looking through thrift store t-shirts because people make the most horrific things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so good. It's so good. Especially the t-shirts that have words on them. The things that people will put on a t-shirt are insane. And I think if I could just that's all I want to do is just make horrible
Yeah,
dumb shirts
absolutely.
for
There's a
people to
future
wear.
that could be happening. I I still regret not buying that like size and a half too small women's jacket with the faux fur collar around the top. Like there's so many good looks out there that I can't utilize during COVID.
Yeah. There's a oh, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to when it's safe to regularly go outside again because I have procured some good clothing over the course of this disaster, and I'm just holding on to it. And I haven't even debuted hardly any of it on the Instagram because I can't go on there anymore without being sick of it. So,
Yeah, Instagram has been sort of a shit show the last 9 months.
yeah, I deleted my Twitter yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah. So,
old.
yay. I don't know.
Tired of getting the news.
I just I like I shouldn't be on Twitter is the point. No
Most
one
people
should
should.
be on Twitter.
Yeah.
But the way that I use Twitter, I think, is neither healthy nor helpful for anyone. So I'm just like, might as well get rid of it.
I have
No
mine
point.
mostly as a messaging app, so I don't have to attach my email to stuff.
Yeah, that's a good way to go.
And
I
I'm
just
still upset that I even have my email on this phone.
yeah. If I could not have an email one day, whew, that would be.
If we could live a life where we don't have email, we don't have a landline, we don't have the expectation of answering a phone, and the only things we can get information from in an official capacity is the mail, that would be amazing. I would love being in a position where I don't have to be at a moment's notice subject to anybody. That
Any
sounds like a
information.
utopia. Yeah.
That sounds. Man, people used to just like live like that, and that was just their life.
Yeah, and then they complain about how good we have it now, and I want to just spit at them. Just like one of those dinosaurs from Jurassic Park.
This is this has now just become the one-stop source of like spider information and anarcho primitive aspiration.
Yeah. Tune in next week when we build a mud house. I'm going to show you guys how to carve your own indoor pool out of a large dirt embankment. So enjoy it.
I'll show off my like homemade kimchi. That'll be my contribution.
I'm going to teach everybody how to make protein-rich flapjacks out of things you can find anywhere. And then we can start... Yeah, out of centipedes. Then we can start doing taped mushroom hunts. That'll be the future of the podcast. Just here's our new shirt, and we're going to take you into the woods to look for some mushrooms.
Time to go shrooming.
Yep.
That probably means something else, but I don't care.
I think maybe like magic mushrooms at the worst. It's probably not bad.
Yeah, I don't care.
Time to go shrooming with Jesse and the... It has to be a the for it to work. I can't think of anything.
I don't know.
Jesse and the Mad Woman?
Yeah, the Mads. People call
the
them Mads.
The Mads could work.
Mm.
And if that's the case, then it has to be like J-Man or something to like make it as
J-Man
aggressively hard to deal with as possible.
J-Dog.
J-Dog and the Mads.
Oh God.
Yeah, exactly. And then like you push a button that makes a fart noise and a toilet noise. Anyway, we have to end this podcast because it's not going to get better.
Nope. Well, no, it's not.
Everybody watch that Godzilla trailer.
I don't think I have anything to plug. I guess I'll just say you can follow our Instagram at Vegeta42069 and send us emails too at itsthisweekspodcast@gmail.com.
Yep, and I have two things to say. and it's Bejabbers, and it's also McClunky, because we got to bring it back. People
Oh
have to remember.
wow, that's a throwback.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'll just say Begone Thoughts, and we'll be done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get out of here.